Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Amara here. In today's video, I'm not going to shout because I'm not feeling too well, guys. So in today's video, I want us to talk about tips on how to study in nursing school, how you can study in nursing school in order to come out with A's, in order to come out with good or the best result. And the things that I'm going to share with us in this video is what I've practiced and what I've practiced and what numerous nurses told me that they do. Yes, I did a survey with some of old nurses that are already working to get from them tips that help them to study while they were in school. So I'm going to combine both the tips that worked for me and the tips that others actually did and show that it worked for them. So in order to get everything in this video, please make sure you have your notepad, or if you wish to download the video afterwards so that you can watch it over and over again. So I'm having said that, let's move straight to our topic. So the first thing I'm going to show us is the first thing you need to do is to discover yourself. Once you enter nursing school, one thing that you should do is to sit down and ask yourself, what are the things that worked for you when you were in high school, when you were studying, when you are preparing to enter nursing school? What are the things that worked for you? How were you studying then? You need to sit down and ask yourself, what are the things that worked for you? Then it is what worked for you that you can now use to do or to be a basis for your studies in nursing school. Why I'm saying this is, once you enter nursing school, especially a period that we call PTS, you see a lot of students moving with the crowd. I mean, there are people that like to read TDB, they will read Tidon. Some do actually get it, some will not. Some will just go there and waste their time. So you need to find out what is it that is working for you. So, and the ways to discover yourself include, the first one is you need to tell yourself what time works best for you. Are you the type that once you read early in the morning between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. you tend to remember everything that you read the next morning? Or are you the type that you like to read after school? Or are you the type that like to read when others have already gone out of the room? Or are you the type that like to read at a particular time? So you need to find out the time that works for you. You may be surprised that everybody in your class or in your room, they read in the early morning hours, but it doesn't work for you. Please don't read at that time. So find out the basic time that works for you. Some students, they read while they were in the classroom. Some others read after school. Some read ahead of the teacher. So find out the time that works for you and stick with it. Then the second thing that you also need to consider in discovering yourself is the position that helps you to read and to understand what is being taught in the class. There are some people that I know that they understand what they read well each time they lie down on the bed to read, or if they are sitting down, if they are sitting on a table. So some people find it difficult to assimilate whatever they are reading if they are sitting up on a chair, whereas some find it very interesting when they are sitting up on a chair. Then others also feel that lying on the bed to read is a form of distraction since they can easily fall asleep, whereas there are some people that tend to read more when they lie down to read. So find out which one works for you. You must not have the same position of reading with another person, and that is to say, if you know that lying down to read works for you, then you need to read more in your room more than those that are reading in the classroom. That is for the position of reading. Then the third thing that you need to put into practice as a nursing student is, each time you come to the school, make sure you have a copy of your course curriculum. Make sure that you have it. Every topic that you're going to be that will be treated in your class for that semester or for that section, make sure you have it. And the importance of having this is, you can choose to read ahead of the teacher. You can choose to read ahead of the teacher by reading topic by topic. And what this does is that if you read ahead of the teacher, when the teacher comes to the class, when they are teaching that thing, you've already read it. Then there are some areas that you may not understand initially. So when the teacher is teaching it, it will help you to understand it best, and it will also guide you when you want to ask your question. You are now asking your question from an informed side and not just in a confused side. So make sure that you read ahead of your teacher. It helps you, and you should also know that you are not reading just to pass the exam. You are reading because this is what you are going to practice for a lifetime. Then the fourth thing that you need to consider again is you can join a group. There is what we call in school group discussions. You can join a group, and the group is made up of 4 persons or 3 persons that you can study with. If you know that you learn easily when you study with people. And one thing with group discussion is if there is any topic that you are able to describe to your group members, it has a way of sticking in your head. So when you describe a topic that you know to others, to your classmates to understand, it's being registered subconsciously in your mind. And also there are some topics that you may not understand that your fellow students will tend to explain to you in their own level of understanding, and it will also help you to do that. Then, but if you're the type that don't strive in a group, you don't like that competition in a group, you can as well study personally, or you can study alone. That is the fourth point. Then the fifth point is, while you study in nursing, it is very important that you have your notepad. Notepad cannot be overemphasized. What you do with your notepad is, in your notepad, you note down some points, because you need to note down something. You can even use a kind of abbreviations to be able to remember what you read. So this your notepad is what you can now use for your revision when the exam is close, but you don't need to go and carry the textbook again to start reading from A to Z. You need your notepad, which is a place where you write down summary. And your notepad is not a place where you copy everything that the teacher already said or everything that is in your textbook. You copy it inside your notepad. Do you understand, guys? So sorry that I'm talking this way. I want to do this video, but my body is not actually giving me that strength that I need. But just carry on. So you need your notepad. Is very important. The notepad that I used in nursing school 10 years ago, I'm still using it up to now. So your notepad is very important. Then another one is night class. There is another form of reading that we call night class, and in my school we call it TDB. That is reading till dawn. Some start by 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. and some people tend to cover much within this time, whereas some people tend to sleep. I know some people that each time they go for that TDB, they are not going to read. They will just be sleeping and describing and disturbing others. So if night class works for you, it's a very nice time to read, and you can cover a lot of things because the environment tends to be so calm for you to study. But if you know night class doesn't work for you, please come back to your room and sleep. It is very important because you need sleep. Then this will lead us to the next point. The next point is you need to map out some time to sleep as a student. I know some students that they don't have enough time to sleep. It's not that you should be sleeping every day, but sleep is also very important in your routine as a student. So each time you are in the school and you are studying and you feel like sleeping, please close your book and sleep. Even if it is just for 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it has a way of making you to feel refreshed. So make sure you have enough time to sleep as a student, even if it's 7 to 8 hours every day. Sleep helps you to remember. It helps to calm you down so that you not be too stressed up. Then another thing also, that you're a student is not an avenue for you not to eat well. You need to eat well. You need to take a lot of energy food, protein, carbohydrates, because when you study you are using a lot of energy. You're using a lot of glucose. You're using a lot of stored fat. Your body is using it and the brain is using it. So you need to eat well in order to balance up and in order to remember the things that you read in school. Then another one is you need to consider your reading environment. I know some people that can read in a noisy environment, or they can read in traffic, they can read where people are shouting and they will understand. Then there are some people that they cannot read in a noisy environment. So you need to find out what works for you. If your environment is always noisy, you can look for a closed library close to you, so that you can go there, register and be studying there. Then you need to be mindful, because if you study in an environment that doesn't suit you, you will just end up wasting your time. Then another point is, if you know that alarm helps you, you can use your Google Calendar to plan your day, so that it will always remind you when you want to read and when you need to rest. So alarm is not always good, but if that is the only option that you have, then you go ahead and put alarm, so that you will always be timed when to read and when to face other extracurricular activity in your school. Then another thing also that is very important as a nursing student is you need to when you are studying for the exams, you don't need to pack your books as a nursing student and wait till examination period, except if you want to run mad, because the curriculum, the kind of courses that we do is too much that you don't need to pack it. So when you are studying every day, immediately you step into the school, know that you are studying both for the exam and for the practice. So start immediately to study. After they finish teaching in class, make sure that you study that subject that day before the next day. If you know you cannot practice everything that I said, once the teacher finished teaching, make sure you sit down and read what they taught you for that day, every topic that they taught you for that day. Then you can use your Google to browse, you can use YouTube and other areas to get your point. Then the most important aspect of studying as a nursing student is you need to look out for past questions, and also, if you can, try to see if you can get past marking scheme from your teachers, from your tutors, so that you will know how to answer your questions for the exam. I'm talking of the exam because when you finish studying as a nursing student and they ask you question, there is a way they mark papers in nursing school. Even half paper, there are some questions you write and you get just half mark. So you need to get a marking scheme. It will guide you on how to answer your questions for the exam, so that you don't waste time in the examination and yet you will not score good. So for you to score good marks, you need to get past questions, see how they ask questions and how they expect you to answer the questions. So these two things are very, very important if you actually want to score very high in your nursing school. So these are the tips that I have for you as a nursing student. If you're not a nursing student watching this, it can as well help you out in your own field of study. And having said that, guys, if today is the first time you are stopping to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. And in order not to miss any videos and to be part of my community, kindly hit the subscribe button here and also the bell by the side, so that you'll be notified each time I put up a new video. And my name is AmaraUzodigwe, registered nurse midwife from Nigeria. So to be part of this video, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe to my channel and share the videos to people that you know that will benefit from this channel. And see you next time in our videos. Bye.